Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Let's see about key considerations for target setting in forecasting. Let's now understand the key considerations for setting forecasting targets in call centers. Setting a target isn't just about picking a number. It's about balancing accuracy, stability, and adaptability. In essence, a good forecast target is precise enough to drive it, yet flexible enough to absorb real-world business conditions. First, alignment with business objectives and SLAs. Your forecast targets must always reflect business goals, client expectations, and operational commitments. For example, level agreement is 80% of calls answered within 20 seconds. Your forecast must ensure staffing levels are sufficient to support that threshold. For BPO contracts, the target setting should align with the commercial model. Whether it's FTE-based, transaction-based billing. Here's the key point. Forecast accuracy is not the end goal. It's the means to achieve SLA compliance, cost optimization, and operational balance. Let's now talk about how to define forecast accuracy KPIs, the measurable metrics that help you track how close your forecast is to reality. Accuracy goals must be clear, quantifiable, and consistently reviewed. Here are the most commonly used forecast accuracy KPIs in call centers. Metric 1, MAPE, or mean absolute percentage error. It measures the average percentage deviation between forecasted and actual values. Typical target, less than or equal to 5 to 8% for mature lines of business. Metric 2, WAPE, or weighted absolute percentage error. It adjusts for volume differences across intervals or queues. Typical target, between 6 and 10%. Metric 3, bias. This shows whether your forecast consistently overpredicts or underpredicts. Acceptable tolerance, plus or minus 2%. Metric 4, volume variance. It's calculated as the difference between actual and forecast divided by the forecast itself. Recommended control range, within plus or minus 5%. Best practice. Set tiered accuracy targets. For stable queues, aim for tighter precision, around plus or minus 3%. For new or volatile processes, allow a broader margin, around plus or minus 8%. In short, measurable KPIs make forecasting accountable, transparent, and continuously improvable. Now let's understand how to segregate forecasting targets by time horizon. Remember, not all forecasts operate on the same timeline. The longer the horizon, the greater the uncertainty. That's why accuracy targets must vary with the time window you're forecasting for. Intraday or interval forecasts. These support real-time scheduling and operational adjustments. Realistic accuracy target, plus or minus 5 to 7%. Because these are short-term, they demand higher precision. Weekly or monthly forecasts. Used for short-term planning, staffing, and budget calibration. Target, around plus or minus 5%. This level keeps schedules efficient while allowing slight room for variability. Quarterly or annual forecasts. These are for long-term capacity planning, budgeting, and strategic decisions. Accuracy expectation, plus or minus 10 to 15%. Because longer-term forecasts face more macro-level shifts, flexibility is key. Insight. Short-term targets should always be more stringent and tightly monitored. Long-term forecasts, however, must accommodate uncertainty from factors like seasonality, economic change, and evolving business priorities. In short, accuracy expectations must scale with time horizon. Precision for the short term, flexibility for the long term. Let's move to a critical element of forecasting target design: incorporating seasonality, trends, and external factors. Forecast targets must recognize that not all demand fluctuations are random. Some are predictable and should be built directly into your accuracy expectations. Consider these examples: holidays, billing cycles, and marketing events. These create predictable peaks and valleys. Macroeconomic or regional factors, such as inflation, interest rate changes, or regional holidays, can shift customer behavior. Product launches or policy changes often trigger temporary call surges or drops that need customized forecasting adjustments. Golden rule: if the seasonal impact exceeds 15%, create factor-specific target thresholds. For instance, set a tighter 3% error tolerance during off-season periods, and allow a wider 7% tolerance during high-volume holiday surges. This ensures your forecast targets stay realistic, data-driven, and aligned with how the real world behaves, not just how spreadsheets look. Before setting any forecasting targets, there's one foundational truth you must remember. No target is meaningful if your data isn't trustworthy. Forecast accuracy begins with data integrity. So before you even define targets, perform these essential checks. Validate data completeness. Make sure there are no missing intervals or broken data points in your historical logs. Second, standardize queue mapping. Ensure that queue names, skills, and routing definitions remain consistent across all historical datasets. Third, normalize for routing or IVR changes. If your process flow or call distribution logic has changed, adjust your past data accordingly. Otherwise, your forecasts will be comparing apples to oranges. Key insight: always remember, accountability precedes forecast accountability. Without clean, consistent data, even the most advanced model will produce unreliable results. In short, fix the foundation first. Accurate data builds credible forecasts, and credible forecasts build operational trust. Let's now discuss one of the most important principles in forecasting: model selection and complexity. The forecasting model you choose must match the behavior of your data and the nature of your business environment. Overly simple models may ignore key patterns or trends. Overly complex models, on the other hand, may overfit the past and fail in the future. So, the goal is to find the right balance between simplicity and intelligence. Here's how different model types typically perform. Simple or weighted average models. Ideal for stable, predictable processes with minimal variation. Expected accuracy, plus or minus 8 to 10%. Holt-Winters or ARIMA models. These capture both trend and seasonality effectively, making them perfect for mature operations with recurring patterns. Typical accuracy range, plus or minus 5 to 7%. AI or machine learning models. These work best in high-volume, multi-factor environments where patterns are complex and dynamic. Achievable accuracy, within plus or minus 3 to 5%. Best practice. Before locking in your accuracy targets, conduct multi-model benchmarking. Run 2 or 3 models side by side, compare their MAPE, and adopt the one with the most stable performance across multiple timeframes. Remember, forecasting excellence isn't about using the most complex model. It's about using the right model for your data reality. Now let's talk about a critical refinement in forecasting accuracy: Channel and skill level segmentation. A single accuracy target for the entire operation isn't realistic. Why? Because each channel behaves differently and carries its own level of variability. Let's break it down with examples. Voice channel. Voice interactions usually follow consistent daily and weekly patterns. That makes them easier to forecast with tighter accuracy tolerance, around plus or minus 3%. Chat channel. Chats involve concurrency. Agents can handle multiple customers at once. And that creates behavioral variability. So, forecast tolerance should be a bit wider, typically plus or minus 6 to 8%. Email channel. Email has delayed response cycles and can carry over between days. This makes forecasting more uncertain. Hence, a realistic tolerance is plus or minus 10 to 12%. Key outcome. By setting customized accuracy targets for each channel and skill group, you build fairness into your performance metrics and accountability into your planning process. In short, one-size-fits-all forecasting doesn't work. Precision comes from segmentation, not generalization. Let's now focus on one of the most powerful drivers of workload accuracy. Average handle time, or AHT. Remember, AHT directly multiplies with your contact volume to determine total workload in Erlangs. That means, even a small fluctuation in AHT can create a big swing in staffing needs. Here's the key principle. Your forecast accuracy targets must account for AHT variability. For example, if your historical AHT fluctuates by plus or minus 10%, then your forecast target should widen proportionally. Perhaps plus or minus 6% instead of 3%. This adjustment keeps your accuracy expectations realistic and your variance explanations transparent. Pro tip. Always maintain dual targets. One for volume forecasting and another for AHT forecasting. This dual approach helps separate volume-driven variance from handle-time-driven variance, giving you a clear picture of where your forecast truly succeeded or slipped. In summary, you can't control customer behavior perfectly, but you can control how intelligently you model AHT variability within your forecast targets. Let's talk about a simple but essential forecasting discipline: building a risk buffer and defining a tolerance band. No forecast is ever perfect. There's always some degree of uncertainty, influenced by customer behavior, market shifts, or random noise. That's why mature contact centers never treat forecasts as fixed points. Instead, they define an acceptable range around the forecast. Here's a practical example. If your expected call volume is 100,000, set your target as 100,000 plus or minus 5%. That means anything between 95,000 and 105,000 calls is considered an acceptable outcome. Key benefit. This approach prevents unnecessary escalations or blame for small, statistically normal variations. It also trains leadership and clients to view forecasting accuracy as a range of reliability, not as a single rigid number. In summary, always define a tolerance band for your forecast, because precision without perspective can lead to poor decision-making. Now let's explore one of the most critical forecasting maturity practices: rolling forecasts and continuous validation. Static targets are like old maps, they become outdated the moment the landscape changes. That's why modern contact centers implement rolling targets that refresh regularly, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, based on the latest performance and business trends. Here's how the continuous improvement cycle works. Step 1. Forecast the upcoming period. Step 2. Compare the forecast with actual performance. Step 3. Measure the error using metrics like MAPE or bias. Step 4. Calibrate the model to correct for observed deviations. Step 5. Reset the target for the next cycle with updated assumptions. This creates a self-learning forecasting system. One that doesn't just predict, but continuously adapts. Key result? Forecasting evolves dynamically with business realities, keeping your operation aligned, resilient, and future-ready. In short, forecasting isn't a one-time prediction. It's a living process that breathes, learns, and refines itself over time. Let's talk about the importance of cross-functional input in forecast target definition. Forecasting accuracy is never the responsibility of one team alone. It's the outcome of coordinated intelligence across the entire organization. To set realistic and reliable forecasting targets, we must gather insights from multiple departments, each bringing a unique perspective that influences demand and capacity. From operations, identify upcoming campaigns, process changes, or policy shifts that could impact call volume. From marketing, capture planned promotions, outbound pushes, or seasonal offers that drive customer activity. From IT, include visibility into scheduled upgrades, migrations, or system downtime that might affect handling time. And from finance, factor in cost pressures, budget assumptions, and revenue forecasts that shape planning priorities. When all of these inputs come together, the forecast stops being a WFM assumption. It becomes an enterprise-level commitment to accuracy. Key outcome: cross-functional collaboration ensures that every department takes ownership of forecast precision, aligning strategy, operations, and finance around a single version of the truth. In short, forecasting excellence is built not by isolation, but by integration. Now let's explore how AI and automation are transforming forecasting target management. In traditional forecasting, accuracy targets remain static. But AI-enhanced forecasting allows for adaptive recalibration in real time. Here's how it works. AI continuously learns factor impact weights, understanding which variables, like campaigns, holidays, or AHT changes, influence accuracy the most. It then recalculates accuracy thresholds dynamically, tightening or relaxing tolerance bands based on data stability. And when performance drifts beyond acceptable variance, AI automatically highlights anomalies for review before they become costly errors. Modern practice. Leading contact centers now use AI-based accuracy monitors that automatically adjust error tolerance levels based on trend volatility and model confidence. The result? Forecasting becomes smarter, faster, and self-correcting, turning what used to be a static reporting process into a living, learning intelligence system that evolves with your business. Let's now connect forecast target setting with performance management. Forecasting accuracy isn't just a planning exercise. It's a measurable performance indicator that should be embedded in organizational KPIs. Here's how this alignment works in practice. For the WFM or planning team, link targets directly to forecast accuracy metrics, such as maintaining a MAPE of 5% or less. For operations, connect it to service-level performance, ensuring at least 80% of calls are answered within 20 seconds. For finance, monitor cost to serve or profit margin stability, keeping variance within plus or minus 2%. Tip: embed these forecasting KPIs into WFM scorecards and dashboards. This not only builds ownership and accountability, but also ensures teams are recognized and rewarded for maintaining forecast precision. Remember, when forecasting accuracy becomes part of performance management, it transforms from a statistical goal into a culture of operational excellence. Now let's understand the economic and financial sensitivity behind forecasting targets. Every percentage point of forecast error carries a real financial cost. That's why target ranges must be defined not just by statistical patterns, but by their monetary impact on the business. Here's an example. If a 1% underforecast leads to an additional overtime cost of 2 lakh rupees, then the acceptable forecast error tolerance must be tightened accordingly. Key lesson: forecast targets should always correlate with financial sensitivity, not just follow historical averages or arbitrary percentages. By aligning accuracy thresholds with cost implications, you ensure that every forecast decision directly supports profitability and fiscal discipline, turning forecasting into both an operational and financial control mechanism. Let's now discuss the importance of governance, review cadence, and documentation in maintaining forecasting accuracy. Even the best models lose credibility without a structured review process. That's why transparency and consistency are essential. Here's how to embed governance into your forecasting framework. Maintain a target review register. This acts as your audit trail, recording all changes, approvals, and justifications. Conduct monthly forecast accuracy governance calls. These ensure accountability across WFM, operations, and finance. Always document the rationale for any target adjustment, whether it's due to a client scope change, a new channel launch, or process modification. Outcome: when governance is systematic, learning continuity is preserved, accuracy improves, and forecasting becomes a dependable business intelligence function, not just a statistical report. Remember, sustainable forecasting excellence thrives on structure, documentation, and collaboration. Let's wrap up with the key takeaways on forecasting target setting. First, target setting is a strategic equilibrium between precision, practicality, and predictability. It's not about perfection, it's about meaningful accuracy that drives performance. Second, targets must adapt dynamically across time horizons, channels, and risk tolerances. One-size-fits-all targets simply don't work in diverse operational realities. Third, continuous validation and factor reviews are essential to prevent stagnation. Forecast targets must evolve with shifting business patterns. Fourth, AI-driven recalibration ensures your targets stay synchronized with real-world volatility, automatically fine-tuning accuracy thresholds. And finally, clear, realistic, and well-communicated targets build confidence, credibility, and control across your entire contact center ecosystem. Remember, when forecasting targets evolve with intelligence and discipline, they stop being numbers and become strategic levers of business performance. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.